Hello guys, and welcome back to another Cafcast! Today we are back here in Minecraft 1.8 and we are still checking out the Jurassicraft 2.0 pre-release, and if you're watching this video then you're wondering how to make dinosaurs with the new Jurassicraft. I'll admit it is a little bit more complicated now, but it's kind of like real life in the way that it's more complicated, but oh my god, is it worth it. It's really, really amazing. Now as you can see, this house that I've built here is completely full to the brim with machines, and we'll be going through how all of these work in a little while, but first what we need to do is actually gather ourselves some fossils and some insects and bits and pieces in amber, because there are two ways that you can get DNAs in the game now, and there are also two ways that you hatch them. Now, the very first thing to understand about this is that we use two machines, as I explained before. We use an incubator for hatching eggs, and we use a cultivator for hatching embryos, because I'm sure that you guys can appreciate not every single dinosaur in the world used to hatch eggs. So they've managed to make the game a bit more realistic these days by having it so that you have two different ways of getting animals sorted out, which is actually like a really, really cool way of doing it. Now, essentially what we need to do very first, as I've already said before, is go and get ourselves some fossils. Now, fortunately, I have a fossil house that I can use, which is going to be really, really useful. The two different types of fossils that you can get, or the two different types of ways of getting DNA that you can get, let's just get rid of that rain here, is you have fossils, like the ones that you can see here, but you also have ice ore and amber ore as well, which we'll go into more detail in a minute. But first, let's start with the fossils. Now, in the old Jurassicraft, I'm sure you guys would agree that you used to be able to just mine them like this and they would give you stuff. Well, not anymore. That's been completely changed now, and it is definitely for the better. The way that it works now is that you actually have to use a thing called plaster and bandage, and essentially wrap the fossils up and then go and clean them in a special machine, which I think is actually a really good way of doing it. So essentially you go along with your plaster and bandage. All the recipes, by the way, for today's video will be in the link in the description, so if you're a bit confused about all the recipes that you want to find, just click that link. That'll take you over to the Jurassicraft pages, and they'll show you all the recipes for all this stuff over there, rather than me sort of like taking the time to explain each individual recipe for you, because we want to get you on the road as soon as possible. And also, don't forget guys, if you are struggling with understanding any of these parts of this video, you can watch this video as many times as you want to. And more importantly, you have got an easy way of getting through it step by step. Just pause the video on each part to make sure that you're following step by step. And then once you've done that part, just watch the next bit of the video and then pause again so you can copy along at home and make sure that you're doing the right thing. So we're trying to make it nice and straightforward for you guys. But as you can see, all the different types of fossil, because there are lots of different types of fossil in Jurassicraft 2.0, have their own separate encased fossiling, the same way that they have their own encased fossils as well. So we've got 5 of all these ones: encased Cretaceous, Jurassic, more Cretaceous, Devonian, Jurassic, and Devonian. So we're going to take these ones and use them, but you also have these ores, and you might think it's the same thing for these, but actually you just mine these, which makes it nice and straightforward. And as you can see, not every single time, but close to every single time, you get different bits and pieces that you can use. Now, I'll talk to you guys about the different ones and what they do in a minute, but we're just going to finish off here and make sure that we've mined them all so we've got as many as we can use. Fantastic. Okay. So the mining house has been useful, the fossil house. Thank you very much, fossil house, for your patronage. We will carry on and use it wisely. So, the two different types of DNA that you can gather. The first, as we discussed, the fossils. What you need to do is use this machine here. This is a cleaning station. All you do is you pop your encased fossils into the cleaning station and have some water in the machine. And what I'll do quickly is I will go into creative mode now that we have... I can spell, don't worry. Now that we have got everything sorted out, we're going to go into the buckets here. Just grab ourselves a bucket of water for this machine, pop it in, and get some going. You can only do one type of fossil at once, as you can see. So we have to kind of like stage it out. But each time that it cleans through a piece of fossil block, you'll notice that it gives you a type of skull. Now we've got some Ankylosauruses here, which is good because we can use those guys no problem at all. And this one's giving us Brachiosaurus, which is absolutely fantastic. But you're probably asking me now, Caf, what about the other DNAs that you got? Well, we have Mosquito and Amber, we have aphid in amber, and we also have sea lamprey as well. We also get some ice, which is not something we need to use for today's video, but it's something that you get out of ice shards anyway. Essentially, the mosquito in amber, the first one, is the way that you get terrestrial and avian DNA. The aphid in amber is the way that you get plant DNA, and the sea lamprey obviously is the way that you get aquatic DNA. We're going to focus on the land-based DNA to start off with for these videos. What you do with these, once you've got them, is you put them into this machine here called a DNA extractor. Now we're going to need to go over here to our chest to get another thing that we're going to need for today, a storage disk. Now, rather than just being given DNA just straight off the bat, these days all the DNA that you receive is placed onto, look at this guy just hanging out there having a good time. It's all placed onto storage disks. The same thing with the DNA that's in the cleaning stations right now, which we'll go through in more detail in a little bit. But essentially, you grab your mosquito in amber, you grab a storage disk, you pop them in, and slowly but surely this arrow will start filling up and it will put the DNA that it finds from the mosquito in amber onto the storage disk. What you get from this is pretty much completely random, but essentially you have a good chance of getting a good sort of percentage on these storage disks. It works in the same way the DNA did last time, where you need to reach 100% with your DNA, but I'll explain more about that in a little while once we've actually got everything sorted out here. And we're going to carry on. I'm going to take some of these skulls that we've got, put some more on to carry on working for us. Put another water bucket into this machine because it's almost actually managed to get all the way through its water, which is pretty impressive. And then you put the fossils that you get, the skulls that you get, for example, into the fossil grinders. Now, this is obviously not as 100% super duper guaranteed as the ore is, but it's perhaps a bit harder to find the amber ore because it's a bit more of a rare thing. But we'll show you what happens anyway. As it goes through these different skulls and things, you have a chance to get bone meal, you have a chance to get flint as well, sadly, but you also have a chance to get this soft tissue. Now, the soft tissue is what we're looking for. So essentially, we take that out. We just double check to see if there's any more. No, it looks like this is all done, so that's fine. The soft tissue uses a different machine. It uses this machine here, the DNA sequencer, not the DNA extractor. DNA extractor for amber stuff, DNA sequencer for soft tissue stuff. You pop the soft tissue in, you pop a storage disk in, and essentially this fantastic bar of DNA sequencing will fill up slowly but surely, and eventually we'll have some DNA to show for it, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, we've actually got a Compsognathus DNA almost straight away, which is absolutely fantastic. It means we have a good chance to use this. And it's actually a really good one as well, 71%. You actually have a much better chance for a good DNA quality from the amber. You get lower quality DNA from the soft tissue purely because it's a less reliable process. Now, the good thing that you guys may not be aware of just yet is that you actually don't have to get to exactly 100% like you did last time. I know that was a little bit annoying last time to have to make sure that you got 50 and 50 to make 75 and whatnot. This time, to get to 100%, you can put a 25 and a 83 together. It really doesn't make a difference. You can put together literally whatever you want to, and you have everything all done through there automatically. So it's nice and straightforward. It does the same thing as last time. It uses the DNA combinator machine, which you can see here. So it is super duper straightforward. Now, once we've finished off getting these DNAs sorted out here, we've got another one here, a Therizinosaurus there as well. Therizinosaurus, I think I pronounced that one correctly. Maybe not, I don't know. But essentially, once you get all your DNAs together, you have to then combinate them to 100%. So we're going to take a small break whilst I get more Brachiosaurus soft tissue, fill them all up, and we're going to make sure that we have some 100% DNA to show you. So I'll see you guys in a minute. So, as you can see, these DNAs have just finished up for us. We've got a few of these now. And actually, we've had some good percentages. We've got 17%, a 20, and a 48, which is a pretty good one, actually, from the fossil process. But this is more like it. This is what we usually expect. 5, 3, 18, pretty bad ones. And actually, from the amber, we got a 4% Therizinosaurus. And the Tyrannosaurus, we got 21%. and a pterodon we got 41. So as you can see, it's one of those processes that's going to take a little bit of time for you to get 100% DNA, but I think that's actually the best way of doing it anyway. So then once you've got the DNA together, you take your combinator. We're going to actually put a second combinator in as well, so we can try and do this nice and quickly. We've got our main Brachiosaurus, our 48% here. We'll put together with our 5%. And we'll take whatever comes out of here and we'll put it onto the 18% one that we've got just here. And we'll see if we can get ourselves something fantastic. Exactly the same process applies for the coelacanth and the aphid and amber guys. So don't feel confused just because I'm using different DNAs for doing this. Because I got the Brachiosaurus out, I just thought it made sense to work with the Brachiosaurus. So as you can see, 37 plus 18, that's going to make us a 45, and then we're going to have 53, so we're going to be 1% off, but that's fine. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll quickly put the 53 and the 3% together to give us 55, and then we're going to be all nice and sorted, which is great. So the next part of the process that you need to focus on, once I've got 100% DNA, is relatively straightforward. We then take the 100% combination and on the storage disk, and put it into the embryonic machine. Now, I'll show you that once we've done this last one, which we've got to sort out 55 and 56. And as you can see, even though that's over 100%, that will still go into the DNA combinator machines, which is really awesome. So the embryonic machine is this one here, and it requires a couple of things for us to be able to use. We need petri dish, empty syringe, and the DNA of the animal itself. So let's quickly just grab, we've got this 100% DNA now. So we're going to go into here. We're going to put the DNA, let's have a look here, embryonic machine. Oh, actually, it might not be, it might be a cultivator one instead, in which case we need to use the synthesizer. Yep, it's a synthesizer job instead. So essentially, if you get to a point where you're trying to put something in the embryonic machine and it's not going in, then it's one that requires a synthesizer instead. Because the two different machines here, the embryonic machine and the synthesizer, correlate to using either the incubator or the cultivator. So bear that one in mind. But once you've got that inside, for this machine here, the DNA synthesizer, it's a tiny little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. I'll talk you through both processes. What you need is an empty test tube for this one, and some nucleotides, which are the ones that you have here. And for the other one, it's the embryonic and the petri dish. So you can see the empty syringe goes in there. The petri dish goes into this one, and then the actual DNA that you get goes into that one there. And then for this machine, the synthesizer, you put the test tubes in, you put the nucleotides in, and then you have the actual DNA that you want to use in the top there. Now, this process, again, is relatively quick, actually. All it's going to do is just go through this for us step by step, and once it's been completed, then we're going to be able to actually take this DNA and put it over into one of these machines. Now, whilst we're waiting for that, I'm going to take a few buckets of water here, and we're also going to give ourselves some raw chicken, because we need some things to add into the nutrients of the machine here, which we've now done, which is perfect. And if we just quickly give it some water as well, because whilst we're here, we may as well get everything set up and ready to go for our egg or whatever it is that's going to come out of the synthesizer. I have no idea. Here we go. So it is a test tube Brachiosaurus DNA thing. Yay! Woo! Okay. Nice and straightforward. So once you've got that, essentially the only other process that you need to worry about, this one goes just actually it doesn't go straight into there. It goes into, does it go into the embryo calcification machine? No, it doesn't. Let's have a quick look at my little notes here and find out what happens here. Once we've got the DNA, the embryonic machine, the machine requires you have an empty syringe, petri dish, and of course. Oh, okay. So this one is just a different step. My bad, guys. My apologies. So the way that this works then is, well, actually, I've explained it properly, but all you need to do is that some of them will give you a certain thing, and then some of them won't. Some of them will have to go through the DNA synthesizer. Once they've gone through the synthesizer, then you go straight back into the embryonic machine here, and then you essentially run it through the embryonic machine, and it gives you a syringe. Once you've done that, it gets a little bit more complicated. You need to take the embryo calcification here, put it into an egg, and then once you've done that, you should finally have yourself an egg. The other way that it works is slightly different, but it essentially, if you get an embryo, then it goes through the cultivator, and if you get an egg, it goes through the incubator. Nice and straightforward. Now, as you can see, there is a little slider just here which you can use, and essentially what you want to do is you want to make sure that you set the temperature correct for the gender of the animal that you want. Now, the way that works is pretty straightforward. Yellow is low temperature, which is for a male, and female is high temperature, which is high. So we can just put it right in the middle if we want to, if we don't actually mind which one we get. And then once you've got that set up, we need to just put sand into the actual incubator as well to give it something to actually sit on almost. So we'll do that, pop that inside there, and away it goes. Nice and straightforward. So once this process has finished itself, I will come back and join you guys here. Oh, in fact, there is one more thing that we need to do, which I didn't think of. We need to actually take this machine out and put it with a cage as well. Whoops, Daisy. That was not what I wanted to do, but that's fine. It was the incubator, wasn't it? There we go. Fantastic. So we grab the incubator. Let's do this outside so you guys get a chance to have a look at this. Put the incubator down. You put the sand in the bottom, you put the thing inside in the top there, and the egg inside, and then what you need to do is get some cages and put the cages around the incubator. Nice and straightforward, eh? Nice and straightforward. So we grab the small cages, as you can see, put those around like this, so you've got a all-inclusive cage. I think you can do it around. Is it that many? I think it might be that many. Let's just double check here, see if that's correct. Still not working. Okay, guys, I'll be back with you in 2 minutes once I've figured out what's going wrong here. Okay, guys, so there we go. Nice and straightforward. Once you've got this 2x2 set up, it's pretty simple. The egg just starts its journey, and then you choose male or female by going low or high. Low being male, high being female. And then when you want to get out of the way of this. Now, the way that cages work are nice and straightforward. All you got to do is left-click on the cage, and it will give you the cage that has the dinosaur inside it. And then you need to right-click on it outside, and there it is. You see, it's just hanging out and having a good time. And then you right-click again, and he will be freed. Nice and straightforward. You can, as you've seen before, or actually catch these dudes as well inside these. But it's a case of once they are hatched, that's pretty much it. Unless maybe shift clicking will work. No, it is a case of once they're hatched, they're kind of outside in the wonderful world. So hopefully this guy won't get eaten. I'm going to call him. I should call you Littlefoot, I think, because you're super duper awesome. So, to recap, for anybody who's gotten a little bit confused, it's nice and straightforward. The DNAs that you get from the fossils and from the insects in Amber are pretty much the same. They give you the same end result on the storage disks. You use the cleaning station to clean your fossils, your captured fossils, to get skulls. Use the grinding machine to get soft tissue, like these coelacanths here. You use the DNA sequencer to put the soft tissue and storage disks into to get DNA on your sequence. The same thing for the aphid in Amber and the insects in Amber with a storage disk going in there. Once you've got your disks, you need to get enough to reach a total of 100%. There he is, look. Having a good time. Having a good time? Well, I should say she, because that's a female. Once you've got enough, you basically combinate them to get to 100%. You put them through the DNA synthesizer machine. Once you've done that, you then put them through the embryonic machine. This is the point where it will give you a syringe or an embryo. If it gives you an embryo, then you need to put it into the cultivator. If it gives you a syringe, you need to put it into an egg using the calcification machine, and then putting it into the incubator surrounded by the cages in this formation. We've now lost one here, which I'm going to just quickly put back in again. There we go, and it is nice and straightforward. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you do have any questions or any concerns or are unsure about how one thing works or another thing doesn't work or whatever, then just leave me a comment down below. I'll make sure to try to read them and try to help you guys as we go. And please, if you do like these videos and if they are helping you out to be able to work out how to use this mod, please do make sure that you like them, because it helps me a significant amount and it means that I can make a whole lot more of them. So, whilst the weather's turning and the sun is setting, I will wish you all good day. I've been Caf of the Cafcast. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. You've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to us if you like what you see. That way I'll know to make more and that you really like me. So, you've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos.